Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm going to be doing a Dark Magician Girl deck profile. So I'm really excited to do something for you guys because this deck is an extremely nostalgic deck that I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 2 copies of the Dark Magician Girl. This card is definitely a 2-of in the build, and it's our main boss monster we're trying to summon out to her side of the field to help us go in for game. This card is an extremely nostalgic card and absolutely amazing to build a deck based around. We're then playing just a single copy of the Dark Magician. This card is the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense and is a great 1-of in the build. You have to play one as a combo piece in the deck, but it's really good to be able to play in this build. We then play a single copy of Paladinium Oracle Mahad. Paladinium is really good to be able to play in the deck as a 1-of, as if you do draw this card, you get to reveal it and then special summon it directly from your hand to your side of the field. And if this card battles a dark monster, its attack becomes double during damage calculation only. And if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you get to special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is a great effect. We then play a single copy of Timaeus the United Dragon. Timaeus United Dragon is really good as a 1-of in the build to instantly go in for fusion plays. It's really easy to summon out to your side of the field, but just sending a spellcaster monster or a spell trap card that mentions Dark Magician from your hand or face it from the field to the graveyard, do you just get to special summon this card out to your side of the field, and when it's on the field, it's a walking polymerization. We then play 3 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is definitely a 3-of in the build, and this card is amazing because when it's on your side of the field, you can send up to 2 spells and traps from your hand or face it from field to grave to draw that many cards, which is such an awesome effect, especially with the spicy engine I'm playing in this deck. And this card is also super easy to summon out to your side of the field because if this card's in the hand, you can actually send a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard to be able to send this card to the graveyard and special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from the grave, or just instantly special summon this card out to your side of the field, which is absolutely amazing. We then played 2 copies of Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod is great in the deck as a 2-of, but you only need 2 copies of this card because we can search it off of our copy of Illusion of Chaos, but it's really good to be able to play in the deck. This card is super good in the build because when this card is normal summon, you get to add a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Dark Magician in its text, which is a great effect. We then played 2 copies of Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos is great in the deck to search out the exact card that you need, because this card has a great effect that if this card's in your hand, you can reveal this card in your hand to add a Dark Magician or a non-ritual monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand, then place a card from your hand on the top of your deck, which is a really cool effect to instantly grab your copy of Magician Souls off this card's effect. We then played 2 copies of Berry Magician Girl. Berry Magician Girl is really good as a 2-of in the build because this card has a great effect that if this card is normal summon, you can add a Magician Girl monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect to instantly search out the exact Magician Girl that we want, like our copies of Dark Magician Girl. This card also has the ability that once returned during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets this card or it's targeted for an attack, you can actually change this card's battle position, and if you do, special summon a Magician Girl monster from your deck except another copy of this card, which helps you summon out the exact Magician Girl that you want to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Chocolate Magician Girl. Chocolate Magician Girl is really good, but you only need a single copy of this card. This card is great because it lets you discard a spellcaster monster to draw a card, and also once per turn, if this card is targeted for an attack, you can actually target a spellcaster monster in your graveyard, except another copy of this card, and special summon it, then change the attack target to that monster, and if you do, the attacking monster's attack becomes half its current attack points, which is a great ability, especially with your copy of Magician Souls, setting this card up by sending a copy of Dark Magician Girl directly from your deck to the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Apple Magician Girl. Apple Magician Girl is just a really good 1-of in the deck, alongside our copy of Lemon Magician Girl. These cards are just really good as 1-ofs in the build to be able to play all the different Magician Girls in the deck. We then also play a single copy of Kiwi Magician Girl. Kiwi is also great in the deck as a 1-of, but you only need a single copy of these cards in the build, as they are searchable off your copy of Berry Magician Girl, which is absolutely amazing. We then play 2 copies of Toy Soldier. The toy engine is so good in any sort of Dark Magician deck or Dark Magician Girl deck because it's amazing to be able to work with your copy of Magician Souls. This card is great because you can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap card zone, and if this set card in your spell and trap card zone is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if it's normally special summon, you can add a toy box from your deck to your hand, or if you already control toy box, you can add a light level 4 monster instead, which is such a powerful effect to be able to search out the exact card that you need, which we have some really good targets in the deck to be able to search off this card's effect. But it's great to be able to use this card with your copy of Magician Souls to instantly use this card to help you draw a card and also get a light level 4 by sending it to the graveyard off Magician Souls effect, special summoning itself back to your side of the field, using its ability to be able to then search a copy of a light level 4 or toy box depending on what you have already set up. You can also play a single copy of Toy Tank. Toy Tank is amazing in the deck as a 1-of, as this card can actually bring back your copy of Dark Magician Girl. This card is a great ability that you can set it to your spell and trap card zone, just like your copy of your Toy Soldier. And if this set card in your spell and trap card zone is sent to the graveyard, you can actually special summon this card, and you can tribute this card to special summon a level 6 or lower monster from your hand. Or if you control a toy box, you can special summon a level 6 or lower monster from the graveyard instead, except another copy of this card, which is a great effect to instantly bring back your copy of your Dark Magician Girl back to your side of the field. You can play a single copy of Blazing Cartesia. Blazing Cartesia is one of our light monsters we can actually search off our copy of our Toy Soldier. This card is great to be able to use because it is a walking polymerization deck to help us go for the exact fusion play that we need. And then we play a single copy of Guiding Quim. Guiding Quim is really good as a 1-of as well, because if this card is normally a special summon, you can send a Fallen of Albaz or one card that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard, which is a really cool ability to instantly send the exact card that you need from your deck to the grave. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is really good as a 1-of in the build to basically just grab the exact field spell that we need directly from our deck to our hand. We then play a single copy of Chicken Game. Chicken Game is really good as a 1-of as well, because this card just gives us additional draws, which is absolutely amazing. We then play 2 copies of Secret Village of the Spellcaster. Secret Village of the Spellcaster is definitely a 2-of in the build, as this card helps us basically lock down our opponent so they cannot activate spell cards as long as we control a spellcaster. The only downside of this card is if we don't control a spellcaster, we cannot activate spell cards. We then play a single copy of Secrets of Dark Magic. Secrets of Dark Magic is really good as a 1-of in the build because this card helps us go in for our fusion plays, which is extremely important in this deck, but it is searchable in the build, which is why we just play a single copy. We then play a single copy of Bond Between Teacher and Student. Bond Between Teacher and Student is definitely a 1-of in the build because this card helps us out so much in this Dark Magician Girl deck, as if you control a Dark Magician, you can special summon a Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then you can set a Dark Magic attack, Dark Burning attack, a Dark Burning Magic, or a Dark Magic Twin Burst directly from your deck to your side of the field, which is a great ability because the targets we actually play in the deck is Dark Burning Magic, which is great to be able to board wipe the opponent in this deck, is if you have both Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl on your side of the field, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls, which is so cool to be able to use with this card, or you can play your copy of Dark Burning Attack, which is actually Dark Magician Girl's actual attack, which is really cool. This card is basically like a lightning vortex that if you control a Dark Magician Girl, you can destroy all face-up monsters that your opponent controls, which is a really cool effect to be able to use with this card. We then play 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. Preparation of Rites is really good to be able to play as a 3-of in the deck to basically just search out our copy of Illusion of Chaos so we can get to the exact cards that we need in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Soul Servant. Soul Servant is amazing in this build as a 3-up because this card lets you place a card on top of your deck from your hand, deck, or graveyard that is Dark Magician or mentions Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, except another copy of this card. Also, during your main phase, you can banish this card from the graveyard and draw cards equal to the number of Paladinium monsters, Dark Magician and or Dark Magician Girl, a different name, on the field or in the graveyard, meaning with this card in this deck, you can get up to a draw 3 off this card's effect. So play Dark Magician Girl, and Paladinium Oracle Mahad. We then play 3 copies of Toy Box. Toy Box is really good as a 3-up in the deck as well, as this card basically lets us set our copies of our Toy Soldier and Toy Tank directly from our deck to our side of the field, which is absolutely amazing, and it's so cool to be able to instantly put those cards out on our side of the field and then pop them with our copies of our Magician Souls and send them to the graveyard so we can special summon them back to our side of the field, get their effects off, and get a draw too, which is absolutely broken. This card is so good in the deck, and it's just really amazing because it has the effect as well that once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send a face down card you control to the graveyard, destroy that opponent's monster, and also once per turn you can activate one of these effects that from your hand, deck, or face down the monster zone and or graveyard, you can choose up to 2 monsters with Toy in their original name and set them to your side of the field in your spell and trap card known as spells, which is absolutely amazing to use your copy of your Toy Tank and Toy Soldier with your copy of Magician Souls so you can get that draw too and also get 2 more monsters on your side of the field. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 1, and that's going to be a single copy of Shadow Schism. Shadow Schism is really good to be able to play in the deck because it's super easy to be able to summon out a Winda in this build to basically just lock down the opponent so that both players can only special summon once per turn. This card is really easy to be able to use in the deck to basically just banish your copy of Apocalypse and another dark monster from your graveyard, which is really easy to be able to do in this deck to basically make it so that you can go in for your copy of Winda and lock down the opponent. In this particular deck, what you want to usually end on is a copy of Winda with your Secret Village of the Spellcasters plus any of your Magician Girls that you can get onto your side of the field to basically lock down the opponent so they cannot play, which is absolutely broken. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with a single copy of the Dark Magicians. The Dark Magicians is really good because it helps you draw into the deck with this particular card. Plus, if this card is basically destroyed, you can actually special summon both a Dark Magician and a Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is amazing to instantly replace this card and summon out Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. And then a single copy of Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. We can summon it in this deck, and this card is absolutely amazing as it is a walking negate. It's absolutely broken and so easy to summon in this build with your copy of Timaeus. And then a single copy of Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight pops a card on the field, and again is very easy to summon out to your side of the field with your copy of Timaeus. And then a single copy of the Dusk Dragon. Dusk Dragon is absolutely amazing and super easy to summon out to your side of the field with your copy of Blazing Cartesia. And this card is super good to be able to summon because if this card is fusion summon, you can send a level 6 or higher light or dark monster from your deck or extract to the graveyard, which we're always sending our copy of Apocalypse from our extract to the graveyard, so we can use Apocalypse's effect to be able to search out our copy of Shadow Schism. This card also has a really cool effect that helps you summon out your copy of Lulurad, because this card has a really cool effect that if a monster is special summoned by your opponent's activated monster effect, you can actually banish this card from your field or graveyard to special summon a Dogmatica monster from the deck or a Despia monster from your extract, which our only target we're actually going to be summoning is Lulurad off this card's effect. You can play a single copy of Apocalypse. Apocalypse is really good because you're sending it to the graveyard with your copy of your Dusk Dragon to basically just discard a card and then search out your copy of Shadow Schism, which is going to set you up for a copy of Winda because this card is your Shadow monster. Then you use any dark monster to summon out your copy of Winda, which we also play as a 1-up in the build just to lock down the opponent so that they can only special summon once per turn. We can also only special summon once per turn, but by the time we summon this, we've already established our field. We then play a single copy of Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is just really easy to summon the deck, as you don't have to use a tuner to summon out this card to your side of the field, and it's really good to be able to summon it out in this particular deck because it's very easy to get both of its effects off using light and dark monsters. But again, you do not have to use a tuner to use this card, because you can actually count a light or a dark monster as a tuner to make this card. We then play a single copy of Lularath. Lularath is very easy to summon in this build. You can actually sync or summon into this card, but usually you're just using your copy of your Dusk Dragon to make this card. This card makes your monsters go up by 500, which is a really cool effect. It's also just a fantastic boss monster to make in this build. We then play a single copy of Access Code because it's very easy to make and can pop multiple cards on the field and gets absolutely massive. One copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is really good to be able to make as well because this card just gives you multiple monster negates, which is absolutely amazing. And play a single copy of Selene. Selene is really good to help you link climb in the deck. One copy of the Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer is, again, very good to help you bring back a dark monster from your opponent's graveyard, climb into your copy of Selene, and then Access Code Talker to basically make a massive boss monster that can pop multiple cards on the field. One copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is really good in the deck as a one-of. If you don't have this card, you can change it out for a copy of Nightmare Phoenix or a copy of Nightmare Unicorn. Usually in this particular deck, I change it out for a copy of Nightmare Phoenix to be able to pop spells and traps. And then a single copy of Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is really good in the deck as one because we do fusions. I mean, quite a lot in this deck to help us bring back one of our monsters from the graveyard. And then finally play a single copy of Artemis. Artemis is really good to help you link away your copy of Magician's Rod to basically get it off the field so you can bring it back later. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Dark Magician Girl deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's super fun to be able to play, and I absolutely love this deck. It's really spicy with the toy engine in this build, and it's just really, really fun. So that's going to do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.